Hi guys, today we're going to talk about my favourite art supplies from 2020. So I am pretty excited about this video. You may already know some of the things that that I'm going to talk about, but I think there's going to be some really nice surprises for you. So there are some things I've been working on behind the scenes this year. I still haven't managed to get my hands on everything I need for those videos, so I am still waiting, but I'm going to kind of give you a sneak peek so you can see what I have been working on as well. And even though these are my favourite things, anything that's got the Jackson's art link, so I signed up for the affiliate program. I'm hoping that will help me just to buy some extra things we need for the channel, like the dot cards, colours that you guys recommend to me so I can try them out and things like that. It's quite expensive. I am using a lot of paint to do all the mixing videos and everything, which I'm totally happy to do, but it would help out a lot if you guys wanted to use the link. It would be really appreciated. So, but the first supply here is the sketchbook that I've been using all year. I've been really loving this. This is actually not an affiliate link, so this is just from Cornellisen. It is their in-house sketchbook. I think it's Fabriano mixed media paper, but I really love it, so I've found it really nice to work on this year. I enjoy using it in the tutorials on the channel. Really the only downside about this is I wish it was in a portrait format, because it's easier for me to kind of sit on the desk, like fit on the desk and use in the camera. But other than that, I just really love this sketchbook. Okay, so if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that one of my favourite art supplies is this Winsor & Newton Gold drawing ink. I absolutely love this. I think this is like my 5th or 6th bottle of it. I really, really love it. I use it all the time. And you can see here I use it quite a lot with a dip pen. So I have this listed in my favourite blog post, but I will list. So I found the actual Nib Holder on Jackson's a lot cheaper than I was getting it. It's like only a couple of dollars. But the gold nibs, they are the ones I recommend. They're from Jet Pens. I can't find them anywhere else, but I will leave them linked. But they're not in stock at the minute, so they're the ones I highly, highly recommend. They don't have as fine of a hair nib, like a hairline nib, as some of the other ones, but they're just so easy to use, and so I really love them for that. I do have a whole video actually about these, how to prepare them and everything, so I will link that as well. So my next favourite supply, and this is one that I use almost daily for the last 5 years. So this is a Faber-Castell Graphite Aquarelle. And then I also love the Escoda Reserva brushes. So that was a number 6. And then this is a Da Vinci Petite Gris Pour 2/0. So I really love, they're the two main brushes that I use all the time. And then for fine liners, I love this Uni Pin one. So I like the 0.05. I like a really fine line. But, and you can see I love the little cap there, how you can see the nib when you're buying it as well. But those are basically my daily, absolutely must-have supplies that I use constantly. So when I do these videos, I really want to give you tried and true things that I love and that I keep coming back to. So this is a Faber-Castell water brush, and I have been using that actually quite a bit the last couple of months when I just don't want to get water out. And I've also been using this Technalo. It's the Carmine Lake one. I find it keeps the point just a little bit longer than the Faber-Castell, and you also get this really pretty kind of tint when you wet it. So I'll just show them to you side by side here, and I will go through and wet them. I'm just kind of showing you the type of thing that I do with the Faber-Castell the Graphite Aquarelle. So it's just a watercolor lead pencil. I generally go for the 2B or the 6B. And you can see you can wet them there. I really like to use it underneath paintings to give kind of a shadow effect. I show a little bit more of it in the French ochre video if you want to go and have a look at that. But I really love the way that it looks. So when you put it down and then you put something like French ochre over the top of it, it gives the whole thing a really nice effect. So another thing I've been really enjoying is this art graph. So I put some in a half pan, and I'm finding that I do use it a lot more. I actually like to use it out of the circular tin because it's quite aesthetic, but I just find that I don't pick it up enough. Sometimes like I can't find it on the desk or something like that. So I've really been enjoying having it in the half pan. And I actually have a video coming up of my top 5 favorite sketching pencils or mechanical pencil type things. So that's coming up, and there'll be a couple more things in that I haven't really showed on the channel, which I really love. But for this video, I just more wanted to show things that I use constantly, that I keep coming back to, and then I'll break it down and I'll do like sketching pencils, watercolors and things like that, so I can add a few more of each one. So we're going to just kind of swatch using the 3 different brushes here that I've been using. So this is the Escoda Reserva number 6. I really love this. The funny thing is I actually started out with the number 1 for pretty much a year. I couldn't use anything larger, and now I really love the number 6. So if you feel like you need to use something smaller, go for it, or larger. So this is the Da Vinci. The only thing about that is that I feel like the handle is a little bit too flimsy, but other than that I absolutely love that brush. And then this is the Faber-Castell one. So I sort of steer away from synthetic brushes, and this one is, you know, I don't mind it, but it doesn't paint, you know, exceptionally, but I've really found it handy for when I just need to swatch something quickly. Okay, so we're going to swatch just a couple of my favorite watercolors for this year, but I will do a whole nother video on my favorite watercolors, and I also do have a favorite, like a top 12 watercolors, so you can see that as well. But the first one is from Colors of the Iron range. It's Porphyry Violet Ochre. I absolutely love this color. The second one is from Nibs Watercolors, and it is Azalea. So it's a neon pink, so if you can't get her colors, you can search for neon pink watercolors. The next one is from Rivervale, and it is Phantom Fire, and I know that you guys have been buying some of these and supporting the shops and asking for them, so I really appreciate that, and I hope you guys love them. And then the last one is Wallace Seymour Shimmer Iron Glimmer. So the Wallace Seymour's, I have a whole video on it. It was a little bit hard to get out of the tube, but I really love it. And I will show you some things that you can use instead of these. So if you can't get hold of these, if the shipping is too much, you know, internationally or something like that, then, and I know shipping rates have gone up exponentially this year, which is quite hard, but here you can see, instead of the Porphyry Violet Ochre, you can use the Caput Mortuum from Winsor & Newton. Instead of the Azalea, you can use the Opera Rose. And instead of the Phantom Fire, you can use Daniel Smith Interference Copper. So you can see those are all good replacements. The next thing I'm going to swatch here is the Uni Pin Fine Liner. It is the 0.05. I used to use these all the time. So I used to use the Micron, and then I found the Uni Pin, and I never went back. I absolutely love these. So I really want to get the grey and the sepia colours. They've been on my wish list for years, but they just haven't come up in the rotation yet. I'm not sort of sure if I'll need them, but I think they are permanent. So I've never tried them like this. I'm just kind of showing you here that I think you can paint over them. But I used to use them on top of the, you know, at the sort of the finishing touch, the way that I use the gold ink now or the other coloured inks. and we'll go through at the end, and I'll kind of show you through some old sketchbooks and how I used to use these all the time, and then I kind of started to introduce the inks and the dip pen. And so you'll be able to see here in a minute, I'm just kind of doing these quick watercolor sketches so that you can see how I use the ink, and we will put the some gold ink over it. So I absolutely love this ink. You can also use it just with a paintbrush. So I'm going to show you here that I have just used my paintbrush, and you can see how opaque it is, and that is over layers and layers of watercolor and pastels, and then it just really takes on top easily. So the next thing that I've been coming back to again and again is this Ecoline Brush Pen. This is in the pink beige. I really love this. So these are great for lettering, but I've just found that I have been using it kind of as to sketch and in art in conjunction with watercolors. And I'm just kind of showing you that here. These are also water soluble, so you can use, you know, put them on the page and then move them around with water. This one's actually probably 3 or 4 years old, so I think it's not performing as well as it did when I first got it, but I actually lost it for a while in the move, and I just found it 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I have just been using it constantly. So I have a light grey one as well, but this is the one I keep coming back to. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is just a few more watercolors, and the first one is my favorite. It is Fuchsite. So it's from Daniel Smith. It's a genuine, like, semi-precious rock, and I really love it. It's called the fairy crystal or the healing crystal or something. It's just so pretty, and I always feel that really gentle, comforting softness from it. And also kind of it's inspiring as well. I really love it. So then the next one is the Duochrome Lapis Sunlight. I absolutely love this colour. So it's in my new Daniel Smith watercolours, just a recent video, and I just love this colour. Then we have tried and true favourites, Daniel Smith Sedona and French Ochre, which I use constantly. And then the last one is Daniel Smith Moonstone. So it's a shimmer silver basically, and I really love it. I've always I've had it sort of since the early days of collecting Daniel Smith, and I just really love it. I use it all the time for shadows, and recently I've just been starting to put other colors into it, so put it down as the shadow and then dropping in other colors, and it almost goes holographic, especially when you put like blues and pinks and purples. It's really pretty. And some of these we'll talk more about in the upcoming shadow videos. So it's actually funny that some of the things we'll talk about in this video will be precursors for the next videos. Okay, so the next thing we're going to swatch are inks. So a few of my favourites. This is the Winsor & Newton Gold drawing ink, so you can see it there with a paintbrush, And this one I didn't swatch, but I just took a little video now and inserted it. This is the Schmincke Aqua Bronze. I really love this. So it's a little bit harder to use. You've got to have like a plate, something to mix it with. But I really love it. I think you guys will love it too, so I will link that below. I'll link a video where you can see me swatching it and everything. So that's the drawing ink, and this is Dr. P.H. Martin's nickel. Now you can see there that these do separate, so you do have to shake them before you use them. These ones come with a pipette, which is really handy, and I am just gonna kind of use it in a few different ways. So I'm just kind of showing you here, you can use it with a paintbrush, and then you can also use the paintbrush. Like I put a little bit too much there, so I just thought I'd show you. For calligraphers, a lot of times they use watercolor or ink with not straight from the bottle, because you have to mix it up all the time. So they'll use a paintbrush and paint it onto their nib, and then you can use it from there. So this next one is a recent one this year, and this is the Sennelier Silver. So this is like a silver shellac, I think, and it is really beautiful. It's got kind of an antique feel to it. I will link a video where I have swatched a lot of inks too on my Heirloom Luxe channel, so there's more than this. You can see them all if you want to have a look through them. So this is one I got for my birthday at the beginning of the year. This is FW Shimmering Blue. I really love this colour. So this one and the next one are both FW Shimmering. This is the Shimmering Blue, and then we have the Shimmering Green, and I will kind of show you in the bottle what they look like. The next one that's my favourite is I think this might be an FW as well, but it's the Neon Pink. So it is really pretty, and you can see neon pink sort of keep reappearing in different mediums. So there you go, there's the comparison, and those are really good over the top of things, but I just also like to use them on their own. So for a lot of these shimmers you do need a daylight light, and I will just show you my setup. It's really simple at the end of the video. So I haven't used inks too much on the channel this year, but inks have been an indispensable part of my art for quite a long time. So I'll show you kind of some of that at the end, and you can see a little bit more how I've used them and how I like to use them. So next we're going to talk about pencils, and I have really been loving pencils the last probably 2 or 3 years. My mum and my sister have always collected and loved pencils, and I didn't really get it until recently. So the first ones we're going to look at is the Caran d'Ache pastel pencils, and then we have some Caran d'Ache Luminance, then we have Derwent Lightfast, Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle, the Derwent Pro Color, which are not as good quality, but the colours I can't find in any other pencils, so I really like them for that. We have a Polychromos, and then a couple of Prismacolor. So I just wanted you to see them side by side so you can kind of get a feel for the brand if you don't know it. And then I'm just going to do what we did on the other page and do a little bit of a watercolour sketch here. and use some of these supplies over the top so you can see how I use them. And so I know there are a few pencils there, but I'm just showing you again the ones that I'm coming back to and back to. And I highly recommend, if you're trying any sort of new medium or new brand, just get a couple of it. So whether it's watercolors or pencils or markers or anything, just one or two, even just to try it and see if you like it, if you like the feel of it, in a couple of the colors that are your favorites, because you'll be more drawn to using it and trying it. Okay, so we are swatching the pencils, and the Prismacolor Neon Pink is the first one here. And then we have the Prismacolor Grey Green Light, I believe, and I use this all the time. Again, it's one I actually come back to for shadows, not necessarily highlights, so it depends if I want lighter shadows and a lighter feeling in the painting, I'll use this one. Then we have the Faber-Castell, the Caran d'Ache Pastel Pencil in Green Earth. And so the pastel sort of can run and smudge and go everywhere, but I actually like to use the Wink of Stella over the top of it, or you can put water with a couple of drops of gum arabic in a water brush and use that on it, and then it will stay in place. So the next one was the Violet Grey Luminance. I love this as well, and I use it for shadows, for darker shadows. And then this one is the Museum Aquarelle in Violet Pink. So you can see here that you can use it as like in pencil form, or you can use the tip of your brush and paint it onto the painting to start building up those layers. And I really like soft layers. So if you look at like a light pink rose, there aren't really harsh shadows. There's sort of these soft building of layers and colors. So eventually one day I'd love to be able to paint that. I think it will take, a lot of time and, to sort of build that up slowly, but really nicely. The next one here is fairly new. This is a Derwent Lightfast in the colour Fossil. This has quickly become a favourite. So I usually use the Luminance French Grey 10%, but I really like the Fossil as well. So they sort of are a cool and a warm of the sort of a similar tone. And then so I'm kind of showing you how softly and you can use that. But I actually saw these swatched on My Art Supply Obsession or something like that on her channel. She has a lot of great videos and she swatches all the colours for you, so it's really, really helpful. So the next one here is the Museum Aquarelle Sepia 10%. So if I want the pencil, I use the Fossil or the French Grey 10%. But if I want to use it as a watercolour, I'll use this one because it's a bit lighter. So it's a bit darker as a pencil, but it's lighter as a watercolour. And it's a little bit similar to the Neo Colour 2. I have it in light beige, so I'd say beige is pretty similar too, but I have the Neo Colour 2 light beige and I really love that, and it's a similar thing. Okay, so those are kind of my go-to sort of shadows or extra layering pencils. And now we have just two of my favorite color stories here, like these are sort of peach colors and then lilac colors. So first up we have the Derwent Lightfast in Salmon, the Polychromos in Light Flesh, and then the Caran d'Ache Pastel in Pink White. So I really have been waiting for the pink white in the Luminance to come back in stock at Jackson's. And you can see here again, so I've put the pastel pencil down and now I'm using the Wink of Stella over the top of that just to keep it in place and to give it a little bit of sparkle. So I really love using the Wink of Stella. And like I said, you can use a water brush with water and like a drop or two of gum arabic, and that should do the same thing if you don't want the sparkle. And so the next three colours, let's see here. The Luminance Burnt Sienna 10%. Then we have the Derwent Pro Colour in Soft Violet number 24. And then we have the Oyster Colour in the Derwent Lightfast, which I really love. Okay, so we are getting through this. We're over halfway there, but I hope you guys are still hanging in there. So next I'm just showing you here the Wink of Stella and then the Spectrum Noir. So I really love the Rose Quartz and the Cosmos, and yeah, have been using those quite a bit. Again, these are good for hand lettering as well. So this is something new this year that I sort of got for my sister as a share gift. So we kind of have, I put some of the flakes in a little glass jars for her. And this is pretty popular because the Nouveau pen, it just kept going in and coming out. So coming in and going out at scrapbook.com, I couldn't get my hands on one for quite a while, but this is the easiest way to start to add some gilding, I think. So I got these from scrapbook.com, and I think I showed you there, I was trying to make one of those stars that's kind of look 3D, but I ended up just making it look like a pinwheel, so it didn't quite work out. I didn't practice before I did it, and I didn't leave enough room for the bottom of the star. So anyway, we have a pinwheel here, but I just want to show you that I really love how easy this is. You can do this with letters, you can outline flowers, you can use it with stencils. So I have a video over in Heirloom Luxe where I used it with a stencil. Or you can just use like little gilded brush strokes and kind of use it more in an abstract way as well. So it just adds some real beauty and shine to the page. So the next thing is similar. I started using this last year for my journals I create, and I really love this. So this is an embellishment mousse, but any sort of texture paste will work, and you just use a palette knife or something like that, and you can use it over the top of a stencil. I have a way that a video that I'll link about, you know, doing this more with a stencil. And then this is something really special. So I've wanted one of these for a long time. This is an Ethergraf. So it's by Da Vinci, it's from Jackson's, and the top half of it is a number 12 brush and the bottom half is an Ethergraf. So I have been looking into silver point this year. That's one of the kind of surprises that I will show you. And you can see how it's actually like a HB pencil, so it's very, very light is what I was trying to show you there, unless you build it up. So the sphere at the front was it, and then these are just writing, and you can see how light it is. So you don't want to get one thinking that it's going to be like a 2B or anything like that. You have to really work to get this happening on the page. But I have been so inspired by Tony Watt's art. I'm not sure, but I will try and link her below. But she makes these incredible gilded letters, and she also uses some silver point and gold point. It's so beautiful. So I've been wanting to learn. It's quite hard even just to collect the supplies. So I have been kind of getting bits and pieces where I can. And this is one of the ways that I like this, because you don't have to have any ground on the paper. So you can see here what I eventually want to try and create. This is just with pencil, but you know, it will wear over time, like the pencil will come off. So I want to be able to use silver point or Ethergraf and create those types of artworks. Okay guys, so that is pretty much it. Those are my favorite things I've been using this year. Some are new additions this year, but the majority of it is things that are tried and true for me over years. So I know that I don't want to sort of be offering things that, you know, I'm gonna next month I won't be using it and then you've got to buy something else. I want to be able to share with you things that will help your collection to grow in such a way that, you know, hopefully you'll have a few new extra supplies that you'll really love using. So this is one of the little collections I've been collecting for the gilding. So this, I believe it's pink champagne foil or something like that. It's quite expensive. It was like $35, and it's very fragile. So you can see like one sheet has already started to fly out when I opened the book. So you have to be very delicate and careful with it. But I really like to do some special kind of works with this. So again, this is kind of a sneak peek. I haven't really had a chance to even get everything. I need like an agate burnisher still, and then I'll kind of play with it and show you and do a video of everything. So and then again here, this is the silver point. So you can see you need a ground to prepare the paper, and then you need like a piece of silver. So I just got one of the pieces of silver to put in a regular mechanical pencil there. So it's not too expensive to start, but it just does take a lot of work. So I will do more videos and show more about that as I, you know, get everything organized. And so here I'm just showing you, this is the lamp that I use to film. This is the lamp that I use. It's nothing special, but it's just a Target lamp with a daylight bulb from Home Depot in. So you'll be able to see your shimmer colors a lot better. And then this is a sketchbook from Barnes & Noble from 2016. So you can see I'm still using the same color scheme. I'm still using the Winsor & Newton Gold ink. This is actually a really beautiful sketchbook. So it's $50. I got it on sale or with a coupon for $35. It was actually my only Christmas gift that year. So, I was kind of feeling like, should I spend this much money on a sketchbook? But it's so beautiful. I used it all year and I really love it. So, you know, at the time I didn't know that I'd be on YouTube. I didn't even know if I could sort of paint, or so I sort of took a leap of just getting this book, and then I was just using basically the gold ink, and this is where I started to get a few more paints, some nicer paints. But I'll show you that I was just using the what are they they called? The Artist Loft ones, the shimmer colours in here mostly, and just a regular paintbrush from Walmart. But I realised this cotton paper in it, I think it's from the Amalfi Coast, so it's this beautiful cotton paper, and it made such a difference in the painting. So I do recommend this book if you can get one, and if you can find a coupon, I will link it below. It's something I'd like to try again now that I am a bit more, experienced. But this, you can see here, this is what's left of my Artist Loft paints there, the colours that I really liked to use a lot. And we got these like from Michael's for just a couple of dollars. Actually, my sister got them, and then I kind of pinched them off her and started using them all the time. Before this, I had just been using the Canson XL from Walmart. You can see here as well a lot of the same things. So I'm still using the thread and the crochet, and that was the fine liner. And then here you can see this is the FW Shimmering Green Ink. And this one actually is waterproof, so you can use this and then paint over the top of it, which is what I've done here. If you guys have any questions as well, let me know. I know some of it can be confusing. I might already have a video about it, or I will do a video about it. And so then this is kind of where I was starting to move from the fine liner to the ink. So you can see here I tried this one with the fine liner and I didn't really like the look of it. So the page before, I should have shown you in the other order, the page before there was a poppy, and I didn't use a fine liner. I just tried to use line work with the watercolor and the paintbrush. And then you can see here I have come back with the fine liner to try and do some detail on the ballerinas, but I've used the ink, the P.H. Martin's Silver ink, to do the frame. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, if you can use an affiliate link and you'd like to support the channel, I would love that so much. And we'll be able to get like some things for the channel. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.